Brothers and sisters, I'm sorry, excuse me, brothers, I have been to the hobby store. I have bought skulls. Skulls. I also got this. So first I went to my friendly local Riders Hobby Shop and picked up a trail shaper. And with this, I have at least one of every model in the Crute range, unless we're talking about the old Forge World stuff. I do not have a Narlock or Narlock Riders. And someday, because this list, when I finally build and paint it as of today, is like almost 1,800 points. And at that point, I will probably seek out a couple greater Narlocks, but I'm not working on the Crute soon. But there's a big move, there's a big change happening soon, and they're at the top of the list after that big change. But I got me a trail shaper. My other trail shaper will be Dyke Grek. And then I have two of each of the other kind of shapers. I have one of the big lizard riding guys. I got 20, 40, 60. I got like 90 crew. I got 6 Crutox Rampagers. I have 5 maybe Crutox Riders. I got me some crew. So in a few months, when it's time to put these together, then I'll start thinking about that Narlock. And there's an old model. It was like a Games Day exclusive. His name was like Agar Proc or something like that. And he was like the master shaper. And it's like the collector in me wants to get a copy of that. But also, I'm not afraid of using a third-party recaster from sketchy country because I'm poor folk and I do what I must. And so, but I got him at Riders, but then Riders didn't have the box of skulls. So I ended up having to go to the actual Warhammer store. And I never go to the actual Warhammer store because the Warhammer store is quite literally the most expensive way to buy Warhammer, except for unless you go to the website and then you pay full price plus shipping. So I never ever go to the Warhammer store, but I went there, and of course they had it because they're the actual Warhammer store, and it rocked. And there's 340 skulls in this box. But it made me feel bad because like the dude behind the counter was a real nice dude, and all the models in the cases were his own work, and they were really nice, and he had some nice tables set up, and it's Warhammer, and it's in my town, and I'm a Warhammer nerd, and I'd love to go frequent his business and, help him, sustain himself and whatnot, but the Warhammer store is the most expensive way to buy Warhammer, and if I go just down the road to Riders Hobby Shop, I get 10% off, and if I go to eBay, I can get up to 20% off on new product, plus I can get even cheaper if I buy from, regret buyers, people who bought their stuff and then didn't want it, but they got it, it's all new on the sprue, and they're just trying to move it, and then you help out some other poor folk, but you get just fine product. Like, buying from the actual Warhammer store or the website is just dumb. It's just dumb, and I don't do it. But it made me feel bad because that dude was totally likable, and his club was kind of cool, And I'm sure they have events and roll dice and whatnot. But also, there's a different game club even further down the same road, and that's called Far Harbor Games. And I don't ever go there because I work weekends, and all of their events are on weekends, and so there's never like just a reason to show up randomly. But when it's time to do that, when I actually do have some free time, I would go there way before I would go to the Warhammer store, because the Warhammer store is the most expensive way to buy models. And Far Harbor Games, although it's not the cheapest way to go, it's still cheaper than the Warhammer store. So anyway, I'm going to crack this box open and see what I am dealing with. All right, I got to zoom in. I'm not going to lie. This is pretty awesome. This is pretty darn awesome. I mean, look at this. Yeah, it's just 340 skulls. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. What a great piece of kit. Apparently they have like another set like this now. It's like trophies, and it's skulls, but it's also helmets. Look at the Tau. Oh, that's adorable. That's adorable. I'm sorry, I'm trying to zoom in on that. It's so... Here, let's set it up for success here. Let's go like this. And where'd they go? Right here. And let's zoom in on that. Dude, they're so cute. I love them. I absolutely love them. I don't want to make them skulls. I want to put one on a body and paint them up like Sans from Underworld. Yeah, those are really cute. Crew and lots of different kinds of orcs and nids but then let's look at this thing. Got some big skulls, look like Ogren maybe. I don't know what this madness is. What is that? I don't even understand. I don't even understand. Then we got this big giant Nid skull, which I think is going to end up being a hood ornament on like an orc vehicle, because I got nothing else to do with it. But that's kind of neat. One of these has pieces. I bet you those are teeth for the, or maybe those are just separate skulls on their own. They look like bird skulls, maybe. Anyway, so this is sweet. I'm into this. But all right, now let's come back. I'm sorry. I'm sure that was all very unfocused. I'm not the good cameraman. I'm very limited as a YouTuber because I'm not technologically savvy. I did not have a computer in my youth, and I'm just, this is my first smartphone. Like, I am not good with the equipment at all, and I suffer for it. But anyway, here's the plan. I gotta go get into a different box and find the green stuff, and I want to knock back this step, just fill it in a little bit so it's more hilly, and then I want to put skulls all over it. And then I want to paint the skulls. And then I want to get out the bird grit and fill it the rest of the way with bird grit. And I'll tell you all about bird grit when I find the bird grit, which is somewhere by the green stuff. But that's the plan. I'm going to green stuff the base, glue the skulls on, paint the skulls, glue the bird grit on, varnish the whole thing, then odd coat the horns to make them shiny, and then he is done, and I mail him off to my friend, and I move on to different projects. And so that's what we're doing here, and let's go. And I've already made a mistake. I'm a mistake maker. See where the corners have been cut out? I took an X-Acto knife, and I started cutting those corners out because I don't want them jutting out. I want it all to blend in. And I slipped, and I took a chunk out of his cape right there. Oh, what a jabroni. Now I gotta fix it. So I took some red and I fixed up the spot I screwed up on his cape, and it ended up turning out all right. It looks like texture now, and that's cool. And then I took the green stuff out and I surrounded him with it to kind of even out his base. And then I had a bunch of green stuff left over, so I put it in the bottom, and now he has weight, and that's cool. But now I had to wait for this to dry, so this is where I call it for the night. I'll come back to this tomorrow where I'm going to glue down some skulls. It occurs to me that I need a logo. Like, I'm often watching things when I hobby. I'm almost always watching things when I hobby. And sometimes it's something, very innocent, like, Star Trek or just some old movie. But often I'm looking at, like, the news. And I don't want to bring the news of the day in anybody else's lap, because the news of the day, that's a personal choice. Like, I watch the news. It don't make me happy. I don't want to put it out on my own channel. So I always just put something in front of the screen when it's time to talk. And it occurred to me that I need a logo. So it says Star Crunch there whenever I'm talking, and I don't want to show the screen. And then I could also put that on other things, but I don't have a logo. But we shall see. Anyway, this dude is dry, and we are going to... Should I paint it first? No, we're just going to start gluing skulls on. That's the next step. We're going to start gluing skulls on and see how far we go. I've cut some out already, but also I have many to draw from. So it is skull day on Stock Crunch. All right, I primed everything, and then I put some black down to because eventually I'll glue rocks on top of the black, and I want to make sure that, you know, it's all covered. There's a spot there I missed. I'll get there in a second. And then I have, the skulls are all prime white, but this is where I'm calling it a night. I'm going to be done for the night. Because I gotta sleep. So I missed, God, I gotta hit that spot and that spot. I'm gonna hit those spots, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. Good evening, true believers. Let's see if we can't get this man done tonight. We gotta make those skulls pretty. We gotta glue the bird grit on the rest of the base. And, I won't be able to varnish them tonight. That's gonna wait till tomorrow. Anyway, let's go. Let's get them done. All right, the painting is done. And it looks fine. And now it's time to add basic materials. And like my normal scheme for what I do with most of my models, I just glue a lot of flock on, right? But this guy, the only thing I have to go on is he's a Chaos Lord standing on a rock with a bunch of skulls. So I'm going to keep going with that rocky theme. So what I have is I have just some tufts to put on there, but also I have bird grit. Birds have, their stomachs don't work as well as ours do. And so to digest their food, they eat pebbles, like little pebbles, and then they have little pebbles in their stomach that grind up their food for them. And so if you're a pet owner at home, you need to feed your pet bird grit, which is this. This is what it looks like, and you can buy it at any pet store, and it has a certain smell to it, and it's dirt cheap. But anyway, this gives the illusion of rocks, and mostly I'll use it as like, you mix it with like some hobby sand, and it makes your sand look rocky. But we're gonna go heavy on the bird grit and see if we can't make it look like, see if we can't blend it in with the existing rocks and work it around the skulls. Oh heck, I'm not ready yet. I gotta get the PVA glue out. And now I'm gonna let him sit for a day or two, and then I'll pull him out. And then I will varnish him, and then I will put odd coat on his horns, and then I'll put him in the mail. He's been fun though. He's been a good model. He's been a real good model. All right, my friends, it is Saturday night, and I'm real tired. The Chaos Lord's sitting in the bird grit. He's sitting. I'm leaving him alone today. So we're gonna go back to this, and the stage I'm at now is I want to gussy up the base coats. I got this chip here I got to take care of. I want to get a little fancy with that antenna and this antenna. I want to make sure the yellow's nice and smooth, like there's a little smudge there. And, I just want to make sure she's perfect before I start getting for real on her. And although I feel like she's mostly done, there's still quite a bit to do, particularly when I look over here at the engines and the smart missiles. But let's get the body done first. And I'm not staying up. I'm not doing too much of this tonight. I'm just gonna, get a little paint on it so I can say I hobby streaked on a Saturday. And then that'll be it for me. I did a little bit of red. I darkened a lot of the panel work and places on the panels that I had missed. However, I'm doing sloppy work tonight. Like, I'm just not good tonight. I'm gonna call it. Not too much tonight. Just tired. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Good evening, friends. I have had a week. I got this woman I work with, and she does the work of like 4 people, and she called in this weekend, and so I had to pick up that slack, and oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, my arms hurt. Like, it's just silly. Dude, I'm so sick of having to work so hard, man. And it's not like I don't mind having to work or having to work hard, but like then you get home and you're just taxed, like I'm tired. And I was tired yesterday, tired the day before, and it's all the work doing it to me, like, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I am at the table. It is Sunday night. I want to just get some good work in today. I'm not going to push it, maybe put an hour in and just try to get those base coats all tightened up. Like, the windshield and the back windows and the side windows. I love to do things like that with the gem paint, but I don't know how the gem paint's going to take to that wraparound. I might try it anyway, though. But I want to tighten up. Just start tightening stuff up. And see how far I can get. But I'm not going to stay up late tonight because I just can't. All right, it's kind of a lame hobby night. But I touched up a lot of yellow. And then I mixed up way too much yellow, so I got the engines out and the seeker missiles out. And a problem I run into a lot is wearing paint down with my hands as I work on the model, particularly like a big model out like this. But I'm gonna call it for the night, and then tomorrow I'm gonna glue those engines onto this thing, and I'm going to hit all the fiddly bits. Like I'm gonna go wash crazy. Like I have to. When you do this yellow scheme, you have to really control your washes. Because if you get the Agrax Earthshade on parts of the yellow where you don't want it, you got to cover it up, and it takes a few coats because it's yellow, and that's how yellow works. However, I wanted those panel lines to be real sharp and tight, and so that's easy enough. But then there's like these gubbins here and these gubbins back here, and the busier parts of the model. And I think I want to hit it with a wash, just not only because it's time, but because I want to outline some things to make sure I can keep getting my paint nice and tight. Because if it's not well painted, it's going to look like shit. I mean, it's tower, all, the smooth lines, and, it's all done with a lot of intention. And it's got to look better. Like, particularly right there, I was doing yellow, and oh, God, that looks like shit. Can't deal with that. But I'm not doing it tonight, dude. My weekend was so wild. And I'm just gonna chill for a little while. I'm going to not do anything for a spell. I'm gonna smoke a water bong and sit in a chair and really focus on doing nothing. Monday evening hobby time. Let's start with him. I'm calling him done. I have to varnish him yet, and then after he's varnished, I'm gonna brush some hard coat on his horns to make them shiny. But he's done, and then I couldn't varnish him yesterday because we had like tornadoes and ice storms yesterday. It was wild. Like a couple of the trees outside my window went down. And then the weather's not great today. I have to wait for it to be, above 40 degrees, and I don't know when that's gonna happen. But he'll get varnished sometime whenever the weather allows. And then hard coat, and then he goes in the mail, and we won't see him again. But I'm proud of him. He was really challenging. I have respect for chaos painters. I feel like my base turned out all right. I'm happy. Focus. I'm happy with how the base ended up looking. And I'm pleased with him. And I'm glad to send something to our executive producer, Brian Lord, because the channel would not have lasted without him. Like he's the motivator. I make videos specifically for that guy. And he was like, "You guys are awesome." And we were like, "We are." And now I'm like, I refuse to let that dude down. Like, I'm going to keep making videos. And that's why I refer to him as my muse. And that's why he gets an actual physical gift out of me. He gets this guy to join his Black Legion and serve Abaddon. And maybe he'll even get a name. But I'm pleased with him. I'm pleased with the way he turned out. And I'll be happy to varnish him, finish his horns, and get him in the mail. But this is how the base ended up looking, and I'm really okay with it. It blended so nicely in with the painted stones. Just please, also, where is it? Somewhere around here. Somewhere around here, right there. Do you see it? Just a jawbone. And that skull was smashed in the middle, and yeah, I'm happy with how the base turned out. Anyway, this dude, Dunsville, and now we're over here. This project is not a lot of fun, actually. This is not a lot of fun, but I want to get it done because my tower hurting. My tower very crew heavy. We need bigger guns, particularly if I'm fighting a wraith host now all the time. So I think I'm going to glue the engines on. I'd like to glue everything on, but then you want, like, who knows what Games Workshop will ever go back to the old rule set that I love, but you want your sponsons to be able to turn. You don't just want to glue them down. However, if I glue them down, then they're just a part of the model for me to paint, and I'd actually really like to just put everything on and glue everything down and just finish that way. I might actually do that. Is that rotten? Is that awful? Like, how badly do I need these sponsons to turn, you know? We're in 10th edition now, like, you don't do it that way anymore. Like, I glue everything down. They can just be glued down in a straight position. And then it'd be so much easier to paint. Just do it all as one big piece. Is that what I'm doing? I think that what we're going to do is we're going to get high and make that decision afterwards. All right, I'm making a decision. You see all that detail there, those little bits and gubbins? And then here on the back of this thing, those little bits and gubbins. And then over here, we got all those little bits and gubbins. You know what I'm going to do with those? Nothing. See this big giant bit here? Same thing, nothing. Although that has the same vibe as the turret. Oh, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because we want to get this done. So I'm just... Oh, see, it drives me crazy. Like, you want to get every bit. But again, like, you could work on one model for years. And I have, like, 6 armies. Like, I gotta get things done. I gotta cut corners somewhere. And I'm so bad at that. But yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. That's just all going to stay yellow. I'm not even going to wash it. That's just what it is. Same with that side. Oh, and the back. No, I'm not painting that. I'm not. It's just going to be the way it is. Oh, that drives me crazy though. Now I just feel funny. So first of all, this big goober here, that got away from me. That was just a whole big accident. And that's going to take me forever to clean up. I realized as I sit and paint, this is why Space Marines sell so well. Well, because I'm sitting here wishing I was painting Space Marines, because Space Marines are easy to paint. Particularly my Space Marines, which are dark gray and blue. They're super easy to paint. And this thing, not easy to paint. My last model, not easy to paint. But this is what I'm working on. This is the one we're going to get it done. But I'm fed up tonight. I don't want to do any more tonight. I got a good over an hour in, and that's cool. But I'm going to hang it up and try again tomorrow. The hobby streak stays alive as we continue to work on the Skyray gunship. With most of the hull here, most of the bulk of the body, I really just got to clean up about a lot of the yellow. That right there is just bad. That's not great. Got to clean up a bunch of the yellow. And I think that might be all right. And then I would highlight the red and then start the highlighting process on the yellow. But then I have all the gubbins to do yet too. And then like the black parts will be just a very light Dark Reaper dry brush. And then the metal parts in there will just be a very light silver dry brush. The lights will, of course, be gem paint. The windows will be gem paint. The antennas will stay lead belcher to silver. My Tau scheme, there's not a lot of colors in it, but it's red and yellow. I mean, it's some... And the sad part of it is, like, I picked this scheme. I bought my first Warhammer model. It was a Crisis suit. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's going to be red and yellow, without ever knowing anything about how to paint models. And that's how my Tau have hung around for so many years now without having that much done, because I had to be in the hobby for a long time before I could competently paint red and yellow. But still, when this thing's done, my next project, I swear to God, my next project is going to be Star Hunters. Star Hunters, dark gray and blue, Space Marines, so easy to paint. I love them so much. I got 10 more Terminators that are half done that I think, oh, God, I'd love to get them out right now. But we will carry forward. We will keep going here. Skyray missile gunship. Got to tidy up a bunch of that yellow. So this is where I'm stopping for the night. And we've made good progress. When I sit down next, I'm going to pick at it and make sure everything's perfect and nice. And then I got to put the gem paint on all the silver parts will be, mock lights. And then I have to get the ink out. Where is that? It's somewhere. I have to get the ink out and turn that into a glaze and then glaze it all. And then I got to get the gubbins done. But the missiles are already done. And also the missiles are magnetized. We can magnetize. So the missiles are done. And then also these things are done-ish. I just got to make them nice. And then the engines have, some gubbins on the back I got to do something with. But we made good progress today. This is where I'm stopping for the night. I actually can't wait for the gem step. I wasn't enjoying this model, but now that I'm at this phase, I'm really enjoying this model. And here's Mr. Bug. He's been flying around for a while. He doesn't really fly very well. He's kind of a drunk driver. Maybe his people are not the best flyers. He also doesn't seem to be able to stand up. But anyway, I'm stopping for the night. And maybe I'll finish this in the next couple of days. That'd be cool.